Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the day after the 1.4 patch has been released, with Squirrel Girl, Spider-Man, the signature systems, Spider-Man upgrade, Superior Spider-Man, and a lot of good stuff again. It is also the day that I have a very special guest, and I'm honored that I have him on the show. And today we're not. It's a quite different episode, so I hope you guys enjoy it, because today I have the honor to talk to the face behind the one and only, the incredible, the amazing, the. There are no words for this guy, but this is the amazing face behind Punchclops. So, without further ado, let's start this up. And there he is. Welcome.
Hello. With that introduction, I thought you were talking about somebody else. I was waiting to see this amazing person come on. Very disappointing.
Yeah,
Sorry,
well,
folks.
there we are. That's fine.
Right.
Yeah, so let's start with the introductions. Who are you and where you're from?
Okay, well, currently I'm living in Melbourne in Australia. Originally I'm from Huddersfield in Yorkshire, so you may notice my accent changes a bit and wanders around the world occasionally.
Awesome.
I've been living in Australia for 19 years, so I'm just about got the accent perfect. Nobody here even realises I'm from anywhere else. Honest, you can trust me. Is this a face that would lie to you?
I wouldn't know. You want an honest answer? There is an arrow through your head, though. I hope that's not coming in between the interview.
Not entirely sure what that is. It seems to keep moving around. So
yeah, it's a bit. It's off the screen. So you're not actually playing Hawkeye then, or?
No, I suspect I'll need to go and have words with Hawkeye about this later.
Yeah, I guess you do. So, yeah, about Punchclops, when did you... Let's first start about the game. When did you came in contact with the game, and how do you like it so far?
Oh, well, I probably first heard about the game sometime last year. And as soon as I heard about it, I was excited because I'm a Marvel geek and I'm a computer game geek and have been for most of my life.
Yeah.
So the thought of being able to play with all the Marvel heroes was a great idea. So I signed on immediately, and then just about as immediately forgot about it until eventually the beta popped up, and suddenly I'm in playing the game. And next thing I knew, spent lots of money on the Ultimate Pack. And yeah, absolutely love this game. It's not perfect. It's not everything that it could be, but it's definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm fully with you on that. That's also why this stuff happens. About how do you think that it has progressed from start until now?
Well, there's definitely a lot more things to collect and punch and run around in, so that's good. And back in the closed beta days, it felt like a fairly small game because there were only a few chapters to play through. So having the whole 8 chapters and Midtown Manhattan, I keep getting that confused with Midtown Madness, which I think was a racing game on the Xbox.
Correct.
Don't want to get those confused. And the X Defense, and eventually PvP and Asgard coming up soon. It's very exciting, and yeah, the game is at least. It feels like it's twice the size of what it used to be.
Yeah, that also noticeable on the patch size. Downloads every week, like.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so
all characters you can play as well now, and all the things to spend your splinters on, and try and collect and chase, like all the uniques, which I still can't find any.
I haven't found it. Yeah, it's an awesome ride, and if they continue this, I'm just gonna stay a fan of the game. It's just there's no doubts about that. Let's go to the topic of the day, which is Punchclops. Could you tell me first about the history of Punchclops? How did he came up in the?
Okay, well, but back in the closed beta days, there were a few people complaining about Cyclops and saying that his optical powers were no good, and it was pretty weak back then. But I had the strange idea of what if I tried playing him just using his punch power without using any of his optical powers, and I thought it might last a level or two and then get boring, or that it might be completely useless and not get anywhere. But to my surprise, it worked. And his trained punch in closed beta was actually more powerful than some of his optical blasts. So I started playing, and then I wanted to prove to people that I was actually doing what I was saying. There was a thriving beta community on the forum.
Yeah.
So I took a few screenshots and threw them up, and people thought that was hilarious. I seen Punchclops taking out Dr. Octopus with his fists of fury. And then suddenly something snapped inside my brain, and I thought, hey, why not do a webcomic? And again, I thought, oh, maybe I'll get 2 or 3 dumb issues out of this thing. And here we are, I don't know, 55, coming close to 60 issues later.
Oh, awesome, yeah.
And yeah, it's been a big ride. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, how has the feedback been so far on these webcomics?
Most people seem to really enjoy it, and most importantly, they get the joke that it's completely stupid and it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But some of my favourite feedback has been from people complaining about it. So actually taking it seriously, and I love those guys. In fact, on the website, I've got a reviews section, and if you look in there, there's some nice reviews from the people at Gazillion, but there's also a few reviews from people who really, really did not get the comic at all, and I thought that they were just as important for me to put them up. There was one guy who complained that Punchclops was an insult to the Cyclops character.
Yeah.
And I really don't understand how you can insult a fictional character. But I've managed it, and I've got to be happy with that. And so the very latest issue of the Adventures of Punchclops is actually riffing on that idea. So Punchclops he's bouncing around through time and space. He ends up in the year 2000, where the original X-Men movie is playing.
Yeah.
So he goes to see it. And then he comes out thinking, well, that Cyclops character is nothing like me. It's an insult.
To Punchclops. Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one I also have currently on my stream showing. Let me quickly go to the first episode, and I'm going to link this in my chat because I enjoyed them from the start. So I just want to share that as well to everyone that's watching. So yeah, could you maybe talk about like the first episode, how that came into work?
Oh, the first episode. Well, I was trying to think of something to do a webcomic about, and while I was walking through a Avengers Tower, there's Iron Fist with that great big heart above his head. So obviously, it's a big love heart. Iron Fist must be in love with me. So that idea just wrote itself, effectively.
Yeah. All right. So
that's the way a lot of the ideas come, is from just playing through the game and seeing a situation that, to my twisted mind, probably looks a little bit different to what most people would think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I think you will do then is you run around and you look a lot about all the small details in the game then, because every box, every corner can have something that's unexpected or.
That's right, and that's one of the great things about this game. There are lots of little details that aren't really part of the game. They're not important to the gameplay, but they're in there. They add flavour to the world that you're running around in, and they give me stupid ideas. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I also noticed that in the early episodes, and I think you continue that throughout the work, is that we had the game had a rough start, and a lot of stuff happened there, and you just put that right straight into your comics.
Of course.
And are these ideas also, these are from the forums, are they coming from elsewhere? Are people also like, okay, I want to see Punchclub doing this? You get feedback that way as well?
I do get a few ideas from people suggesting, oh, why don't you do a comic about this sort of thing or this sort of thing? And often it's very hard to do a comic based on an idea, because I can only do what the game lets me do.
Yeah.
And the range of emotes are very limited. I can do a cheer, a wave, a buy, a show off, a beckon, and I try to get screenshots of them in various different poses to try and make them look like a lot of different range of movements.
Yeah.
But there really aren't that many things that you can make the characters do. So it can be a struggle. You can come up with a great idea, but to make the characters perform that for a screenshot can be impossible.
All right. Yeah, I can. Yeah, because you only use in-game streams, right? In games. Is that
That's
also
right.
the goal, or is that
That's mostly because I'm absolutely useless at art, so I can't draw anything. Otherwise, the world would be no limit at all. I'd be able to do anything. It'd be great. But yeah, and I don't want to go finding art elsewhere, like take art straight from the comics, because that belongs to people. People have
yeah?
spent a lot of time and effort creating that, and for me to go and pull it off and make dumb comics about it, it doesn't feel quite right to me. Whereas I'm perfectly happy to make comics from the art within the game, because I think in many ways I'm helping promote the game. And of course, the devs and the artists at Gazillion love the comics, so I'm very happy to give them something to laugh at.
Yeah, exactly. Have they also give you like ideas, or have they just said that they like it, or how did they contact you, or how did that go?
It's mostly on the forum that they've complimented the posts that I've put up about the comics. But they haven't given me any ideas other than by creating this amazing game and all the things in it. That's where most of the ideas come from.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Though, of course, they did create the unique item for me, the legacy of Punchclops,
That's
which
actually.
I think for everybody else who's found it, it's utterly useless. For
But,
me, I still haven't found it, but it will be wonderful.
so that's actually in the game. I didn't know about that item.
Yeah, it's a real item. People have found it. I'm still looking. But one of the things it gives you is like a +10 to trained punch. I mean, how awesome is that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
And possibly a lot of people don't realise, but my Punchclops character in the game is genuinely a Punchclops character. No optical powers, just the trained punch and a roll for defense, and a few passives for defense and dodge and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. But the only attack is the punch.
So you don't use any kick, any shooting, any lasers, anything.
None of that. No,
That's awesome.
got to stay true to the concept, as painful as it is.
Awesome. Do you also play any other characters then, or is it mostly Punchclops?
Well, I've got the ultimate pack, so I can play all of them. So I've been working on getting a few of them up to level 25 for the synergies.
All right.
And
Yeah.
I've been having a lot of fun with Luke Cage when he came out. He's a destruction machine, so he was great fun.
Yeah.
And Rocket Raccoon, and you may notice in the background here and over there, my favourite Marvel character, Spider-Man. So naturally, I've had to play him.
All right. And what levels did you got? Did you got him?
I think Spidey's around the late 30s. Punchclops is still my highest, and he's just made it to 47.
47. Oh, congratulations on
Yeah.
that. Awesome.
So I might not be the world's fastest leveler, but that's because I spend a lot of time taking screenshots and chatting to people rather than actually playing the game.
Yeah. But going back to the comic, this is one of my favorite because every time that I now go to the beach and I run to this guy and I just want to check if he still holds the binoculars towards his forehead, and
He's still got them up there.
he still got them, yeah. So it's just, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Is that's what I like about this, that you see. I wouldn't have noted that if I hadn't read the comic, and it's still there, and I just had to laugh every time I run past that guy. How did you just saw it, or how?
Well, I was writing the comic about Punchclops spying on She-Hulk on the nudie speech, and while I was putting the speech balloons in, I noticed that that guy had his binoculars up to his head, so I just had to throw that in as the punchline.
Yeah, that's awesome. The
Yeah.
punchline, obviously.
Obviously, got to have a punchline.
Exactly. Yeah. So at the start, I remember you brought one out like every day.
Yeah, when I started, I was completely insane. I've been taking the tablets, so I'm down to one a week now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was even. I think I even uh, gave you feedback that it's awesome that you bring them out, but if you want to keep this up, it might be better to slow it down so you can keep it up for a longer period of time. Cause,
Yeah, no, I will admit I did burn out by around issue 50. I needed a break.
Yeah.
So that's why